Hey everybody, how's it going? I see Curvy and David in chat already. Wow, just feeling pretty good with that. Um, so as oh wait, webcam settings, which I still haven't gone back and set up. So I am streaming from the new MacBook Pro, and everything seems to be mostly working okay. Though I have not transferred over like 80% of my normal stuff, so everything is still kind of wonky and weird. The colors are all freaking super wrong. Let's see, can I get. Okay, turning down the brightness a little bit so I'm not like blown out, pasty white, looking looking all Irishy. I pick on the Irish. They love me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, let's see. Bring up that contrast a little bit. Throw some more color in the skin. Hopefully. Maybe. Um, yeah, I am using an ultra wide. Uh, what I'm actually going to be doing is just capturing the Lightroom window. Well, Lightroom and Photoshop. I'm going to just capture the window, but I'm going to do technically the desktop capture, but I'm going to limit it to the window, which should work just fine. And I do that not because of performance issues, though there may be a factor there, but I do it because Lightroom was developed by people who I don't have a I'm gonna refrain from saying mean things here, but it was developed by people that I think don't like streamers. Um, because in fact, I'll show you what happens if you do just a Lightroom capture. Let's see. I moved all my profile or my streaming profiles over, but I did not fix. Wait, is my the beanie is showing up super dark? That's weird. Um, okay. Anyway, all right. Let's add a window capture for Lightroom. And pick Lightroom from here. And move Lightroom down below me. Okay, and resize the window because it's a little too large. Just a little bit. I may have to tweak a few things to make that look right anyway. But wait, why is it? Oh, that was weird. Okay. And transition. Okay, so this is what Lightroom currently captures. Now, you can't tell, but that is entirely wrong. Uh, and when I say entirely, I actually mean just kind of wrong, but not like terrible. Okay, let me get the desktop capture or display capture. That's the one. Display capture. This time we're going to yeah, we're gonna do that display. We're gonna crop to window, and the window is going to be the Lightroom. And wait, did I grab the wrong thing? What did I get? Oh, don't do that to me. Um, Okay, sorry, I wanted to quickly glance at comments. Okay, display capture. Curvy, your work wants you to switch to ultra wides. Honestly, I prefer the ultra wide mostly. There are things about it that can be annoying, but for the most part, I think it is better. Just because, it depends. It really depends. But okay, let me show you now what if you have a proper window capture. This is what it should look like. Okay, so that's what it actually should look like. See how, and it's all behind comments right now, but see that huge tool window that wasn't there before? And I'll turn this off again so you can see what this looks like before. So what you're seeing right now, this is a display capture that's cropped to window. And I'll switch back to what happens if you just capture the window, nothing else. That's here. You completely lose the tool window, and right now it's kind of below the screen, but there's also some stuff down below that just, if you do a window capture, it doesn't pick up these elements. I have no idea why. So that's funky as hell. Okay, so and the one positive is if you're doing a window capture, and this does kind of suck for me. If you're doing a window capture, and I'll demonstrate this. So you can't see it right now, but I can zoom in on my screen. Macs have this awesome feature where you can just hold down, I don't know if it has to be the control key or what, but you can hold down the control key and just swipe up and down on a trackpad, and it zooms in on the screen. By the way, this is a feature that you have to manually enable, but it's so good. If you want to focus on something, it is awesome. Absolutely heavenly feature. Especially since sometimes I use a screen, or I use this with a screen pretty far away, and it's not really a right pixel density, so it makes things a little less pleasant to read. So I'll totally just zoom in, focus on one window, and I'm like, I just lock in that way. But if you switch to display capture, let's transition back to that. When you switch to display capture, if I zoom like that, you notice like things go totally weird with that tool window. That's because I'm zooming in and it's just capturing that part of the screen, which is now just showing the zoom. It's wonky. So that being said, I'm now going to zoom in on comments because there's no better way to see that. Okay, let's see. But yes, I am using an ultra wide monitor instead of using two 27-inch panels. By the way, I love that you typoed that the green screen looks less fucksy. That honestly is way better than what you intended to say. I love that because it is accurate. The green screen always looks pretty fucksy. Okay, so the problem is you don't game at 21:9. So first off, a lot, not all, but a lot of games, if you get an ultra wide, a lot of games actually give you the option to just play with part of the screen. So you can just set it and the screen respects your aspect ratio. And I don't know if this performs as well on Windows versus Mac, but I do know it. I know it works in a lot of games. Also, this probably doesn't matter to you, but if you use a capture card, what will typically happen is if you're piping the video through the capture card, and maybe through a splitter into the capture card, it might also work this way. I'm not quite sure. But if you are pumping through a capture card, the capture card will usually enforce a 16:9 or 16:10, whatever aspect ratio. And then what your display will show you will in fact be that aspect ratio. It won't show you a 21 by 9 in that case anyway. So it just centers in the screen and that's all you get. And you effectively just have black bars on the side. Admittedly, this isn't the ideal. It's not the super wonderful experience, but it works. And that's how I've been playing on Stadia for the entire time I've streamed Stadia. So it really doesn't bother me. And I don't know, maybe I'm less picky about this. I've heard some people say that they absolutely can't stand it. They think it's the worst thing in the world. There are other people like me that it just doesn't matter. Like, totally, completely irrelevant to us. So, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't. Point being, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay. Now I do need to. I didn't actually quite finish this up before I started streaming. Um, I need to. So I already copied all of the images I took yesterday, but I'm doing a little bit of quick file management because that's the part I kind of forgot. Or not forgot, but didn't get around to. So, um, I'm just quickly grabbing the files, dropping them into the right directories, then I will do the import and it will all be ready to go. Wow. Oh, no, can't. Stupid Mac moment. It doesn't happen often, but there are a few dumb little things that just drive me crazy. Okay, so we'll move those to there. Done with that. Grab the raws, dump them in their own folder. Now close that window. We can close that window. Those two can stay because we're going to be making this disappear in a second anyway. And if I drop these in here, that's not going to work. Of course it won't work because Lightroom has a terrible interface. Okay, where's our import? We're not importing those. Oh, in fact, all right, fine, be that way. We'll cancel. We'll unmount the camera. Camera is disconnected. Turn it off. And camera is going out of the way. Cable also getting out of my way. Sweet. All right, this time for real. Oops. Okay, and the way I do this, let's see, so I have those set up right. Sure, we'll do smart previews, and I don't mess with the rest of it. Okay. And we're adding. Sweet. Got it. Okay. So, sweet. We got it all back. I actually showed a lot of restraint yesterday. Normally, I take a lot more photos that are nearly identical. This time, I took very, very few, which is pretty good for me. I wouldn't call it a bad habit, but I have this tendency where I will make a lot of really minor adjustments and then pick out just the small batch of that I like, and it takes forever to go through the photos. So I normally, well, when I've done photo edits in the past, which I think I've only done 2 or maybe just 1, typically when I do the photo edits, I've pre-culled the images. This time I'm going through and I'm going to do the culling process right now. Um, so, okay, this I think is the one I was probably going to keep. Oh, and one of the things I do, let's see, I don't know how much you can see of this. So, looks like, okay, you can't see the bottom bar, but that's okay. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's see, you don't need this window. What happens if I adjust down to there? I think that's probably going to be better for you guys to see. And actually that means yeah, there we go. That kind of works a little better. I'm not sure if chat really needs to be on screen, but I'll leave it there for now. I don't think that's really going to impact this situation too much. Yeah, and I saw the credit card discussion earlier. Curvy, I don't know if you're still with me, but regarding the Amex cards, I don't have any experience with the gold card. I can say the situation with Blue Cash Preferred, or any of their Blue Cash cards, the thing that everyone likes about them is that they typically run a lot of promotions. Um, I I don't remember exactly which one I have, but uh, I think I have the regular blue or blue cash, whatever it is. I don't think I got the preferred, though I could be wrong. It's so hard to remember. Um, anyway, yeah, the thing is, like, every, I don't know, 6 or 9 months, Amazon will run some sort of promotion with the Blue Cash Preferred, or maybe it's just Blue Cash, whichever. Uh, Go check Slick Deals, and you can find out which one it is. Um, and yeah, they just run promotion after promotion with that card, and I don't know why it's specifically that one, but that one gets tons of promotions. Um, let's see. Yeah, grocery shopping, good reason. Um, and honestly, that is almost my advice when it comes to getting cards. Is look at the ones that offer crazy good deals on the things where you spend money. So almost everyone goes to the grocery store, find one card that is going to be your grocery store card, uh, and then progressively go through and figure out where you want to spend or use your cards. And it's a pain in the ass to set this up, and and it is like a multi-month process to really fine tune it. But once you do, oh my god, you can get such good cashback deals on credit cards. It's insane. um I'm nowhere near where I want to be with the cards, but well, I say that, but I'm honestly actually pretty close. Okay, so um what I was going to do, we're going to filter by flagged and turn on. So what I have turned on for flags is the ones that are flagged and unflagged. There's also a rejected flag. Can you see my mouse? Yes, you can. Awesome. Um, so the third flag over, I've turned on this custom filter. So it shows which ones are flagged, which ones are unflagged, but the third one I leave disabled. That way, what I'm going to do is I can come over to the... This is right behind my webcam, but if I pick this photo, I think the lighting on this photo sucks, so I can just hit X and it gets marked as a reject, and it just disappears entirely. Still on the computer, it's still technically in Lightroom, but I can make it go away. And that's how I do my culling. David Lama, looking at the gold card and the promo is spend 4K in the first 6 months. Just seems crazy to think of having that much money in a credit card. Well, the trick is, or the trick I would recommend, if you're looking at getting any of the big cards and they've got a big sign up bonus kind of thing like that, wait until you're going to do a big purchase, whatever it's going to be. Like, you know, I don't know what it's going to be in a particular case, but the example I give to a lot of people is if you're going to buy like a MacBook Pro, because holy crap, you can just make that happen really, really fast. Plus, to be fair, you're saying 4K in 6 months, but that's less than $1,000 a month. So, you know, if you look at all of your expenses, and assuming you can put a lot of those expenses onto a card, if you pay them all off every month, and you can put if you can put like certain bills onto a card, chances are you can actually burn through 4K in 6 months and still put it all on a card. The one catch to that, it's American Express. And American Express is accepted by so many fewer companies, which really, really screws the whole system. Okay, I need to move the monitor for a second while I reach back and plug in my stylus. Okay. I'm not going to be using it quite yet, but I keep looking at it and I just want to get that part done before I move on. Okay, so believe it or not, I'm switching between two images right now and there is no perceivable difference. So we're going to toss one of those. We've got our clean plate. I'm going to leave this one intact for the moment. Let's see. One of your other cards got approved for 25K. Lowered that. Yeah, that is a thing too. If you're not really feeling good having a high credit limit on a card, yeah, just have him lower it. I always want to have one card with a fairly high limit because it goes back to this one incident years and years ago where I did a contract job. I had to stay at a hotel for this contract job, and this was a 6-week on-site situation. I ended up the hotel required me to put a card on file for expenses and deposit, but the company was going to pay for it. Well, the company, unbeknownst to me, decided that they were going to retroactively reimburse for the hotel. So all of a sudden the hotel charged me for the full amount of, I think at that time it had been 3 full weeks of staying there, and this was a really expensive place. So all of a sudden, just all at once, the hotel charged my card, and it ended up being an overdraft charge, which fortunately wasn't too much, and I didn't have to get into a big fight over this, but I got hit with an overdraft charge, and Um, yeah, for that reason, I do like to keep at least one card with a high limit. But I know that's not something most people are going to have to deal with. But it's one of those things I like to be ready for. Um, let's see. Curvy, your Discover card's more accepted. Yeah, it is. Though I'm keen to have at least one Visa. Though I have a few, but yeah, Visa for me is the safety. It works everywhere. Um, David, you just don't feel comfortable carrying a balance that high. But that's the point. Don't carry a balance that high. I mean, you're talking about. Um, I mean, I don't know if you're still referencing this, but the comment that you were originally responding to was 4K spending $4,000 in the 6 months. And what I'm saying is, don't carry a balance that high. Just, if you spent, what is it, $800 a month, just pay it off every month, and you will hit that spending target in the first 6 months. No question to it. It's not even 800. It's what, 750? Is that right? Uh oh, wait, no, less than that. Okay, so say 675. Yeah. If you spent 675 you every month on that Amex card, you would hit your 4K target. When you think about it, and presumably paying it off, I mean, just pay it off every month and you're golden. And I put everything on cards. Absolutely everything I can. I put it on a card because I want the points. For me, credit cards are just a way of getting the cash back that otherwise would be stolen from me. Um, Curvy, yeah, okay. You've got both Mastercard and Visa also loaded up in there. Right now, I don't believe I have a Discover card, or if I do, I think it might just be a debit card or something. I don't know. I'm not a. I really don't like. I don't have anything against Discover. I just don't really have any reason for it. Okay. Anyway, Curvy. Actually have three Capital One cards, 360 checking, 360 savings, but have a venture card and Quicksilver card with Capital One. Um, right now, I have multiples with Chase and single cards with a few others. Um, and they've all been based on, not all of them, but pretty much all of them have been based on some promotion that they gave. I'm actually going to be shutting down a couple of cards in the not too distant future because I just don't need them. I don't care about having them, so they'll get retired. Ooh, I just realized something. This neat little trick that I was using for standing this up does create a bit of a shadow reflection right there. I can fix it, but that is a little bit of a whoops. I couldn't see that in the camera screen before. It's okay, but not ideal. Where is the... Let's see, is there a zoom to fit hotkey? Doesn't look like there is. That's a bit of a shame. Okay. So the only... Might be the only way to do that is from there. Okay, so picking... Alright, it starts on photo 4 and goes to there. So that's 6 shots, each with different lighting conditions. Or lighting angles. So I want to get rid of probably 5 of these, though I could choose a couple and stack them. I don't typically want to do that because it's more time consuming than it needs to be, but it is the thing. Oh, I hear my cat. Curvy. Problem is, if you get it nice audio and camera set up, you'll go all out and turn it into the keyboard hobby. Yeah, that is the problem. That is always a problem. Believe me. I like if I could, I'm not going to do this, but if I could, holy crap, I would love to just I'd love to go hog wild and pick up more camera stuff, but that is an unsustainable life. Okay, so let's see. Kind of now that I'm looking at these, I kind of don't like some of the double shadows I created, but let's the glorious GMMK Pro build costs roughly $485. If you got nice audio and camera set up, it'll be 3 to 4 times more than the keyboard. Oh yeah. Yeah, easily. Well, not necessarily. Okay, here's the thing. If you wanted to do a really nice audio setup, honestly, you can do it for $100. If you want to get like a boom arm like I have here, add uh what are these? Another 30 to $40, maybe a little bit. Well, yeah, probably a little more if you want to get a decent one. Oh wait, Rode just did. Hold on a sec. I don't want to screw something up, so I'm switching scenes real quick because I did not. Oh, I did fix that. Okay, never mind. Okay, Rode boom arm did an update to that. The PSA Plus? Is that the right one? Yep, that's the one. Okay. So let's switch back. So they just did this one and it looks so nice. How much do they charge for this? That's B&H. $129. Okay, it's a pretty expensive boom arm, but really, really nice boom arm. And then you can easily get a $100 mic that is really good. Basically, just get a standard Blue Yeti, not the Blue Yeti X. That's what I'm using right now. Honestly, there's no good reason to get the Blue Yeti X other than just kind of hype features. But yeah, so for $200 you get a really good audio setup. It's Bluetooth, so you don't have to screw around with anything there. The one notable catch, I will acknowledge this, the original Blue Yeti, it is 100% mini USB, which sucks. And the Blue Yeti X is micro USB. I don't know why. That is so dumb. It infuriates me that they did that. It should have gone USB-C. In my review, I was even like, it doesn't matter that much, but the least they could have done is pushed a USB-C into it. Rode also does some really good podcaster mics. Yeah, pod mic. How much are you? Let's see, from B&H. Yeah, $100 for the pod mic. And I haven't tried it, but I've heard it's really good. So yeah, you can do audio really, really well for not that much. And for camera, honestly, you're already, I know you already have the A6000. I think it was A6000. Did you I kind of remember you saying that you upgraded. Didn't you get like an A6300 or something? Um, and so you obviously have that. I'm sure you have a lens for it. I imagine you already have the capture card. Like, honestly, you're already kind of there. There's so little value to going to anything more than that. Oh, A5400. Okay. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you to upgrade, obviously, because that, oh, 6400. Okay. I was gonna say, if you're on something in the 5000 series, you have justifiable reason to upgrade. But the 6000 series is is it's not it's not as good as like their pro level an A7 camera. Like the A7s, those are obviously better. They have better low light uh, coverage. They're um, they're not a crop sensor, so they don't kind of have a built-in zoom. Those details kind of matter a little bit for streaming setups, but it's not worth it to spend. Well, to be fair, it I guess it depends on which one you would get. Let's just do Sony A7. I wouldn't say go all the way back to an original A7, but um these are all the new ones. I'm looking for like, yeah, like an older A7 II. Granted, that's still more than I would recommend spending for a streaming setup, but is there's an A7 II. Did they have any original A7s still in here? I'm sure, like, chances are, I don't think Sony even makes the A7 anymore. And I can't imagine a reason that they should. Like, it is an old camera. Um, let's sort this from low to high, because it's such an old camera at this stage. Okay, yeah. No, sorting from low to high, the A7 II is the lowest that comes up. Um, but if you went searching for a used A7, like that would actually be a that would be overkill for a streaming setup, but it would work. Um, you want an XLR mic, go XLR shock mount boom arm, and a pair of Sennheiser open back headphones. Yeah, okay, I get it. And there are advantages to an XLR mic, but honestly, I I, I don't see it as worth it. Nothing against it. It just doesn't feel worth it. Is kind of my thing. Like if you already have a good setup, upgrading to that is such a minor, really tiny improvement. Um, Unless you're gonna go, like if you're setting up with a like foot pedal for a mic mute. Um, for anyone who doesn't know, that's like literally a foot pedal that your XLR runs the cable through, and when you press on it, you can set it up to either, like, you hold down and it mutes your mic, or vice versa. If you hold down, it activates your mic, and that's really good for podcasting purposes. For gaming, makes no sense. Um, the other advantage to it is you can pass it through a mixer that might do a little bit more with your audio. Currently using a gaming headset for audio. Oh, well, that's honestly though, I still feel like for game streaming, XLR feels like it feels like overcomplicating things, because you still have to pass anything XLR. You're passing it through a mixer. So, or well, maybe not necessarily mixer, but at a bare minimum, you're passing it through at least a preamp. Like, it just feels like too much when what you're trying to do is capture one voice and basically filter out the rest. Um, what I would even, but it's a fantastic Sennheiser gaming headset, so great audio. Yeah, go for the headset, 100%. A headset makes it worth it. But I wouldn't. I don't know. To me, I think the XLR side of a mic or setting up an XLR mics feels like a waste for that kind of thing. It's more effort, more money, and your audio quality is possibly worse if you don't set it up correctly and if you don't run the lines right and if you aren't making sure that electromagnetic fields aren't a problem. Like it when you get into XLR, you can get way better audio, but you have to do so much more work with them. Um, and unless it is just the shortest setup, like you can do super short setups, and by short I mean very short cables that go from that basically go from point to point, and you don't have to screw with too much other stuff. Then it kind of makes sense, but man, I feel like SLR is just it's good for podcasts. It's good for like musical performances. It's good for movie production. It's not good for at home streamers, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, it varies. Everyone's got their preferences, of course. Okay. Um, let's see. All right. I feel like at least between these two, I don't like this one. So we're going to get rid of you. Between these two, I kind of prefer this one because the shadows are actually a bit nicer. So let's get rid of you. You got to take the painkillers for the... Oh, did not know you broke your ankle. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're recovering quickly. So yeah, see you in just a bit. All right, and all right, between these two, I know this looks like fiddly little nothing, but between these two, I feel like this one looks a little more balanced than this one. This one kind of washes out the orange. So yeah, let's kill that one. That's too dark. Ooh, hey. Kind of, Nope. I now hate this one. Just looking at a couple of other spots. I think this is the keeper. Okay, so we'll be keeping that one. There's our clean plate for the same shot. The background looks a little different because of the lighting, but that's fine. I can work around that. Easy peasy. Okay. All right, we'll kill that one. All right. Not going to take a whole lot to cull these images. This is much nicer not having like 10 different versions of the same thing. Kind of like the light one a little bit more because the reflection in the tile looks better. Oh, but now as I get in closer, I kind of like the look of the dark one a little bit more. Yeah, this looks like too much on-camera flash almost. This has depth to it. All right, we're killing that one. So we've got a clean plate. I didn't do a clean plate of this one, but I didn't really need it, so that's fine. Okay, this is the one where I went a little crazy with multiple shots. So this is going to be from 14 through to 29. Jeez. Yeah, I should have been more judicious about these. Okay. By the way, David, are you still there? Just out of curiosity. Okay. So what I feel like I'm probably going to do is try to pick the ones that have the least harsh shadows. Though the ones that look weird in any way, I'm also just going to kill those. Still lurking? Awesome. Okay. It's weird how much little lighting changes make some of these look way better and way worse. Yeah, some of these turned out honestly, a lot better than I thought they would. Again, these are like filler technical shots, so they're not quite. I don't think they're wonderful, but they're not bad. Oh, this one sucked. um, okay, between these, I like the cable kind of pointing up more. Like between these two, the cable pointing upward looks so much nicer to me. Plus, I hate that light. Well, between those, that looks bad. Oops. It's funny. Out of my periphery, the way I've got this set up, the laptop is just off to my left, and that's where I have the OBS window. So I see a little bit of motion as a new comment comes in, and then I turn to my right to watch the YouTube chat window because there is, for whatever reason, like a 5-second delay between me seeing new comments come in and then the new comment actually appearing in the YouTube chat. No idea why. It's super annoying, but it is funny because then I just sit here and wait for a second as the comment comes up. Cable pointing upward would be your choice too. Yeah, I it just looks more fun. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through and kill both of those. So we're down to still a few too many, but yeah, through those. All right, so it is now down to just picking from these, which that's still kind of a lot, but it's workable. Okay, any reason to go? Okay, I'm just going to go back to the beginning of this stack. And just one by one we'll eliminate. Thing about this, I think I hate how direct the light is on this one. But I like the shadows. Whereas with this one, the shadows look amateur and ugly, but the light on the thing is actually better. If push comes to shove, I could actually blend those two. But let's see if there's a better one down the road. Much better shadows. I like the light a little more on that one. Okay, so we'll just kill the first two. Okay, and between these two. Okay, I didn't like it at first, but I kind of like, there's sort of shadow there, sort of shadow there. It actually highlights the edges really nice, whereas this one, it looks uneven. Okay, so we'll kill the first one. That just looks weird. That's bad lighting. Is it? Oh, now that I'm looking at the first one, I kind of dislike that. Okay, where is it? I want to take a... I want to actually look at... Okay. Thing is, it is actually very light reflective plastic, so depending on what angle you look at it from, it really looks like either one. Oops. So I think this looks a little bit more like the way that I see it every time I look at it. Oh, but the light on the cable is so much better in that one. Yeah, we're killing this one. Because I feel like this, the light should be on the device, not as much on the cable, and this has the cable coming out really dark. So we'll kill that one. That's ugly. That one didn't turn out. So just down to these two. Keeping this one for sure. Yep, that's our winner. Okay, then this one, because it's just so much fun with this. I swear, just this part right here, that reflection in the camera lens just came out so neat. Okay. Oops. Can we zoom in? No, not that far. That works. Okay, so that was for lighting the camera itself. That's for the lens reflection. Between these two, I'd be very happy just blending those. I'm not even sure I will use this picture. In fact, I'm kind of inclined to doubt I will. But I could, and that's what matters. I might just take all three of those and use them to paint something. How about this set? So this particular one here in the middle, it doesn't match any of the others, so I'm going to toss it. Okay, so this is the first three, and then there's this set. And the first three. Okay, so oops. So could also use that. I like the light reflecting off the grip. If I paint this in and just keep the lens reflection off of that, that could also look really good. Okay, so we don't need the original from that shot. So if I just blend these together, the lens might be getting a little too much reflection out of there. Is that fixed in this one? A little less reflection off of the hand grip, but the rest of the camera looks pretty even. It gives me a little extra light that I can put it in if I want, plus the reflection in the lens. Man, I don't know. I'm not decided on this one. So I might tinker with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we'll start at the end. I'm going to select those three. We are going to edit in Photoshop as open as layers in Photoshop. Okay, and you guys do your thing. And I'm just going to resize Photoshop so it's the same size as the Lightroom window, which is a bit of a hacky solution for this, but we're not going for perfect here. We're just going for good enough. Okay, so what I think we'll do, we're going to put the reflection at the top layer. We're going to crop this down so it's, come on, give me the handle. There you go. Again, I don't even know that I'm going to use this shot, but I dig that reflection so much. Okay, so I'm thinking this will be a base layer situation. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with this, give it a mask, brush. Let's move around the keyboard and stylus a little bit. Get this on kind of even terrain. Actually, wait, do I want to do this maybe in reverse? There are different ways of doing this, and I'm undecided on which one I want to use. Oh, wait, what am I? Nah, I'm a dummy. Okay, hold on. I didn't even fix colors in this at all. Not that there needs to be much, but I kind of want to tweak things just a bit. So let's head into the develop mode. How about we switch this from 100% to 50%? All right, cool. It's not going to behave well. I hate Lightroom so much for its interface being just janky. 33%. There we go. All right. This is the part I care about. So now you may remember this is something I talked about in the past. The tile is not actually white, but I can kind of use it. Actually, wait. Let's do this correctly. Screw it. So we're going to adjust off of, would it be better if I go off of that one? Kind of is. Yes, the wonderful cube. Okay, now if I recall, the order of operations. you want to have, oh man, it is, I remember doing this before and now I don't remember it well enough. There was a trick you're supposed to do. Where's it at? So I got white balance off of the grays, but there's supposed to be this thing you're supposed to do. Where is that it? Yeah, that's definitely wrong. What am I trying to do? Oh man, it bugs me so much that I don't remember how this is supposed to be done. Oh wait, is it not on calibration, is it? No. Wait, was there an info? No? Oh my god, where is it? Tools. It wouldn't be there. That's not it. Damn it, I do not remember how that's supposed to be done anymore. Okay, I know that there is a trick for, you're supposed to find your white point by picking something off of, well, you pick this spot on the cube. Actually, I guess technically you'd probably pick this spot over here. And you're supposed to raise your exposure until that white spot is almost white but not quite. Then you're supposed to come down to this black spot and make sure, or well, technically the surrounding black spot, but you lower it until that reaches a certain point, and then you make sure that the black here is truly and completely black, and then that gives you your perfect color. I don't remember how the hell to do that, which sucks, but oh well. Part of me thinks that it's off of here, but that's not it. Yeah, it wouldn't be the color grading panel. Oh my god, where is it? Oh, damn. I can't believe I've forgotten this. Oh wait. No, it wouldn't be that, would it? Can I get something out of here if I right click? No. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that would be useful. Oh, boo. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. We're not going for perfect here. Just wanted to get it a little closer to correct. So, what we're going to do is, I brought up the copy settings, and we're going to paste them across everything. Except that didn't work. Wait, what was the trick to it? I admit I don't use Lightroom quite enough. Develop settings. Sync settings, that's what it is. Wait, and I think I actually just want to go to here. Okay, that worked. So, oh, though it doesn't look like it. Did it apply over here? Oh, it did. It just, I'll have to come through and correct it because the lighting did change, I guess. I didn't think it just had changed that much, but oh well. So, that's unfortunate. I'm surprised it changed that much. Okay, I guess I'll just have to do these custom with each one. So it looks like white balance is still correct. I'll just have to boost the exposure on a few of these. This one, can we get... that white balance is correct, and that's what sucks. Okay. Yeah, I just lit the tiles so differently each time. Nope. Okay. Well, we got the correct white balance then. We'll just have to stick with it. Shooting at home. No proper studio. That's what you get. Okay, so I'm going to call that corrected, even if it's not great. So the other thing I want to do is actually go through and do the proper edits on this. Again, we may as well get in a little closer on this one. Let's tweak the contrast a tiny bit. If I bring up the highlights, that kind of cleans up the tile a little bit, though we lose some of our reflection that way. Maybe I'll leave the highlights for a minute. Shadows kind of lightens up the camera. Give that a little bit of love. Whites. Oof. Man. It makes a shadow just completely vanish if I ramp up the whites. I don't want to do that. But I'm also at a high angle. I think I don't have a choice because I'm not really going to get... Yeah, I'm going to crop out down here so it won't really matter that the microphone kind of shows up. Plus, geez, look at that giant dust spot. I can't wait to clean that. Tuesday. The cleaning solution comes Tuesday. And not soon enough. Okay. I'm gonna bring up the whites a little. I like the idea of getting that tile just more whited out. Okay, and I'm actually gonna nudge the blacks down a little bit because it gives us that nice contrasty look on the camera. I like the red of the Rycoat mount. I think that's good. I don't feel the need to tweak those colors a lot. The one thing I kind of want to maybe do is mess with the look of the wood. Yeah, okay, so that's just the Rycoat mount. If we tweak that... Oh man. It's like... I don't like the colors that's going to grab. Let's head over to saturation. Can we... Yeah. Okay, so... all the way is too far, but if we give that just a little bit more warmth, I like that. From there to there. It's subtle, but that looks better. Bringing up yellow also adds a little more warmth to it. We're not going to get anything out of the greens. Shouldn't get anything out of actually the rest of those. If we touch down the luminance a little on the wood too, kind of darken it up some. Also gonna actually darken the Rycoat mount. Let me look at... Man, in real life it does not look that bright. Okay. In real life, it honestly looks way, way closer to that. It's maybe a bit orangier than that. So if I... Yeah. That's a little more like it. It really doesn't pop with its actual real colors, which sucks. But oh well. That's not our goal here. We're not trying to fake it. We're just trying to be kind of real with it. Okay, so I think I'm good with that. This came out pretty sharp, but do we need to do any noise reduction? I don't think so. I'm seeing like no noise in this. Even in the blacks, like it just did not get noisy at all. Yay for shooting long exposures. Okay, so we won't mess with the noise reduction. Let's come back up here. Let's give it just a touch of texture. How far can we go on that? Yeah, that looks super intense. So we'll give it just a touch of texture to kind of bring back that sharpness. The smallest nudge of clarity, I think. Is that doing anything weird to this? Nah, that looks clean. Not gonna mess with that slider. I'm happy with where that's at. If we bump the saturation just to give it a little bit of life, we're just nudging it up a tiny bit. Okay. So just for reference, before and after, let's... I mean, I like that so much more. The tile actually looking white. The difference in the road logo just looks so much nicer. Not too much tweaking to the Rycoat mount. I'll have to clean up a couple more things, but I like it. Okay, let's back to that view. Let's copy those settings. What happens if we do that? Anything that needs changing? I feel like that may need just the smallest nudge down on the exposure. Yeah, I'm good with that. And we'll paste the settings on this one. Okay, since all I care about is the reflection in the glass on this one, I'm not overly worried about the rest, but in case I use anything off the hand grip or something, I'm looking kind of close. I gotta admit, some part of me really wants to tweak the colors in here just to be like, wham, I'm not going to, but just going crazy on those colors would be fun. I can still do that in Photoshop, maybe. Okay. Oops. That's right. The hotkeys in this are dumb. Okay. So we'll take those three. Not develop. Edit in Photoshop as layers. All right, Photoshop will do its incredibly slow import process. Good for you, Photoshop. Good for you. And this time, yeah, we'll tweak that more in a moment. Let's get this cropped down to something a little bit more the right speed. Okay. And yep, that got everything else. So oops. Okay. Not that it matters too much, but what I'm kind of thinking about doing, wait, which do I want to use as my base? Probably this one. Okay, so we'll create a mask and invert. We'll do the same here. Invert. Okay, so the way that this works, I'm using this. Wait, do you see the, if I, yeah, okay, you do see it. It's a thing on Macs. If you shake your mouse pointer really fast, it grows the mouse pointer out. But anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm using this base layer as basically my like standard. This is kind of how the image is supposed to look, but then each of these images on top, they're technically visible, but I'm using a mask to turn off all of their pixels, and then I'm going to basically paint back in the parts that I want to keep. And I've hooked up a kind of a shortcut key, kind of a cheater key, so that I can disable the mask when I want to. Okay, so what did I want to keep out of each of these? I'm going to save this one for last. We're going to do this one first. Okay, what I wanted to keep out of this one, it's funny because now as I'm looking at it, it's like not much. I really don't know that there's much value to keeping this one. So I think what I wanted to do, make sure we're actually pointed at the right part. Okay. What I think I'm gonna do is bring that back in. So the neat thing about this is basically I'm just painting part of that higher layer back in. Let's bring down our opacity a little bit. Actually, wait, does this still work? Yeah, sweet. Okay, so yeah, I can just sort of paint stuff back in very, very smoothly. So It's just nice and gradual. I don't have to do a lot of tweaking to make that work. Let's bring... Okay, I like that. Okay, and let's tone down that shadow a little bit. Wait a second. I'm not sure I like that. Okay, we're going to shrink the brush. I just want to affect that shadow. Okay, I think I prefer... As I paint this in, it gets rid of some of the highlight off of some of these spots too. And it kind of works in reverse too. Where there are dark spots, I can basically just bring down overly highlighted things. So yeah, little tiny tweaks here and there just to kind of make things look a little bit nicer. Okay, so right now, if I don't tweak anything else, this is just how it would look. So little minor cleanups up there, which I think I like. Is there anything else I want from this version? I don't think so. Okay, and I do want to make a little bit of a tweak to the hand grip, though the more I look at it, I'm not sure I do. Okay, what I was thinking about was bringing a little bit of the light off the hand grip in like this, kind of smooth it out a little bit. But the more I think about it, I kind of like that look more. It's just a little sharper, a little bit more contrasty. I think I'm sticking with that actually. Okay, so keeping that one, and then we're on to the top layer. What I kind of want to do with the top layer, I think, I mean, we'll start with the obvious one. Just painting right in that part right there. We'll shrink this down a little bit, bring this back even more. It's like fireworks. God, what a beautiful happy accident. And it's not like this matters at all for the microphone. Not even a little bit. Like, I don't have to do... This is just purely for the fun of having something ridiculous and over the top that you're only going to see if you're really looking for it. But I swear, just seeing that, I had to do it. Okay, so let's see. So just for comparison's sake, I mean, just turning that layer on and off, that's all anyone, or that's all it's adding, but that's adding so much. Like, it just makes the camera look like it's doing something. Okay, so what else might we want out of this layer? I don't know why, but I kind of do want to... Let's turn our opacity way down. Is this going to look ugly or good? Yeah. Nah, we'll just leave it black back there. Oh, and one beautiful thing about this technique, since it's working with a mask, I don't know if you've worked with masks or Photoshop that much at all, but the beautiful thing about the technique, what did I do that for? Are you talking about what I was just doing here with the A on that back corner? Is that what you're asking about? And while we do the round trip, the neat thing about masks being like this, basically masks are just white and black pixels that determine what comes through. Basically, if you want to change, or if you want to undo something you did with a mask, you could obviously just hit like Control Z, but you could also just switch between white and black colors and paint in the part that you don't want to keep. So it's like an eraser, but you're erasing your mask. But yeah, masks are freaking awesome. Okay, so what I was doing with this part, here's what that other, or here's without the mask at all. I was thinking about bringing back just a little bit of the brightness on this back, or on this edge. I was thinking that might be kind of neat, but once I saw it, I didn't like it. So I think I'm actually pretty much good on this one. I wanted to check because for a second it looked like this was motion blurred, and it's like, wait, how did this thing get motion blur on it? It wasn't. It's just, it looks that way a little zoomed out because it's the double thing here. It just looks like it's a ghosted image or something. But yeah, so I like this. I think that looks pretty good. My only, and it's not a big deal at all, this is perfectly fine, the only minor regret that I have on this whole image, and it's the dumbest thing, but it is a thing. So let me switch. Okay. If you look at this camera against me, kind of. Okay. This part right here actually slides. Wow, why is it so... there we go. This part right here actually slides forward. So, switching back again. My only regret on this image is I forgot to slide it forward. So technically, if you were using this in real life, you would actually want this slider to go forward. If you see it right here on this front edge, you can kind of see where the rails are. Yeah, if you were using this in real life, that should go forward. It's a small thing, but it would help for realism. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is create a new layer. We're going to switch to the spot healing brush, and now comes the crude and obnoxious rapid cleanup stage. So this is the part of the night where we just clean off dust and make it look like we are cleaner human beings than we actually are. Do I need to do this? No. Do I believe it matters more than I should? But I like to think that when people will come along and look at these pictures later, they'll see, if they see a bunch of dust and weird crap on the ridges of the lens, then they might think, wow, what a dirty, nasty human being he is. Why does he let his stuff get so disgusting? Which is obviously ridiculous, but it's how I think. So, and the beauty is that the spot healing brush is so ridiculously effective. Like, we give so much credit to Google for all of their AI features. I don't think people give enough credit to Adobe for the fact that this thing, like, I'm not working that hard to make this stuff. I'm literally just, hey, there's a white speck, let's draw a little line over it, and it just magically looks for the pattern around it, figures out, oh, hey, here's what it probably could or should look like. And I mean, look at that. I'm just drawing like long lines over that section, and it looks correct. I don't know, those AP comments can be brutal. Oh, you're telling me. One of these days, I want to go back and find. There was this article I wrote way back, and I used the HTC One, I think it was the M7, to do a screenshot. I want to go back and find this because the comments on this article, the article had nothing at all to do with notifications. But if you remember the old HTC phones, HTC used to make mandatory notifications for a bunch of stuff. If you had Bluetooth turned on, there was a status icon. Wi-Fi, status icon. NFC had a status icon. And they had, I think, like 2 others. It truly did eat like half of your status area. And then notifications, there were like 1 or 2 that were almost always on, almost unavoidably. And it was awful. And people hated it, justifiably. But the thing is, the comments completely ignored what the post was about. And like, there were a bunch of people just dunking on the fact that the notification area looked like such a mess. And it's like, hey, awesome, cool, thanks guys, you kind of just ruined this article for me by being D-bags. So yeah, it, not immediately after that, but pretty shortly, I then decided I was going to start with every screenshot I did. I would do the screenshot and then run it through Photoshop and just manually make the notification bar. I would just wipe out everything, and unless it needed to be there. So basically every screenshot I have done on AP for, I couldn't even tell you how many years, every screenshot has been edited by hand to get rid of notifications. And truth of the matter is, if you see screenshots posted on other people's articles that don't have notifications, there is about an 80% chance I'm actually the one who took those screenshots and gave that person the screenshot that has now been manually cleaned up. I say 80% chance. I don't know if it's actually that good, but it's pretty high. I've done a lot of screenshots that ended up in other people's articles. Fact of the matter is, this area is really impossible to clean, and if I tried, it would look fake. Or rather, if I tried to clean it with Photoshop, it would look pretty fake. So I'm not going to try to be perfect, but I am going to get rid of bigger dust and spots that may be reflections and just don't need to be. because any dust and scuffs in here look a little more prominent than they need to. Even though they do not matter at all, I kind of like the idea of making this look a little cleaner without getting over the top. Welcome back, Curvy. How's it going? You were catching me during my fakery stage of photos, where I make it look like I'm not a disgusting human being with dust and grime all over the place. You know, I try to hide the fact that I'm actually human. Okay, so it is a bit of a curse. Where I live, dust is just it's not like it's Death Valley dusty here, but there's a pretty prominent amount of dust in my area. So it means I just have to live with the fact that there's always a bit of a cleanup job on almost every photo I take. Gotta look perfect for the internet. I mean, I do. I don't know about my photos, but I'm a clean bitch. I say as I'm wearing a beanie to cover the fact that I haven't had my hair cut in forever. By the way, just for reference, I am using a little Wacom stylus, or technically Wacom tablet with stylus, to be doing this. Only because it's slightly faster than using the trackpad. Not a lot, and honestly, like it does kind of fatigue the hand after a little while, but I find that this is a little bit faster. I don't want to say more precise, but I think it's a little faster. Try cleaning a mechanical keyboard? No. Well, for what it's worth, try cleaning any keyboard. Really, mechanical versus even chiclet keyboards, like, it doesn't matter. They're all awful. I cleaned the my Mac wireless, or Apple wireless keyboard, this thing. I cleaned this thing. It's probably now been about a year, maybe. I don't know. Has it been a year? Let's pretend yes. I cleaned that, and just the tedium of popping off all the keys and going through, getting everything looking nice and getting all the gunk out from underneath, particularly the space bar, but a few others. Yeah, it is such an unpleasant process. I'm zoomed in way too far to be caring about this stuff. Because by the time I size this down, because for reference, this image is current. Oop. Did not mean to do that. Let's pop back to Photoshop. This image is 4,000 pixels wide by 2253 pixels high. I'm obviously going to resize this image. It's going to be it's going to be about a third this size when I resize it for posting to the site. So I don't need to get as meticulous as I am, but the thing is, I still do this just in case. I gotta admit, I kind of want to see if I can do something to clean up that spot right there, though, because it is super dirty. This is a spot you cannot clean on cameras. It sucks. That's a light reflection. I'll leave it. Okay. So I don't know that this is going to look right if I do it this way, but let's try. Okay, that worked out better than I thought it would. I'm going to be a little imprecise with the first few of these at least. Is that too fuzzy? I don't know. You recorded gameplay at 50,000 kilobits per second. That's the max NVIDIA Shadowplay allows. An aluminum chassis is harder to clean. Yeah. Aluminum just... Well, it depends. It does depend a little bit. If it's sort of the textured aluminum that is on this wireless keyboard, it kind of does grip some stuff a little bit, but not bad. MacBook Pros, forget it. Like, they are so easy to clean because the aluminum is almost like glass smooth. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that did say 5,000, not 50,000. I was gonna say 50,000. That's, you're just wasting space. But yeah, 5,000 makes sense. Let's see. What was I gonna say? But like the aluminum chassis on cameras, because it is textured, like you can, it's smooth, but you can feel a texture to it. It's meant to be grippable. Like I can slide my thumb on it and it actually just doesn't want to move as easily. Jeez, even as I look at it, it's funny because I can look at it with my naked eye and it just does not look that dirty. But the camera just grabs hold of it. So let's see. Can I get a pretty precise cutout of this? And what's it going to look like if I grab from right there? I don't like it. It looks a little too fuzzy. Okay, how about let's clone stamp. There we go. Clone stamp. Oh, so much better. Okay. Also, I can kind of just work the edge just a lot better. That is probably a little too clean, but we're going with it. Anyone who's ever actually owned a camera and looked closely at it knows that this is total BS and would never look this good. Cameras, almost by their design, are going to be nasty looking creatures. It is the gadget you cannot hope to keep clean ever. Oh yeah. Make that dust go away. Nasty hobbitses, yes. I forgot about that. And no, I'm not going to try to impersonate Gollum all the way. I know I can't. Well, I think I probably can, but I feel like I'm going to I feel like I'm going to sound really stupid if I try, so we're not going to go all the way down the impersonating Gollum road. Oop. Don't want to get too zoomed in. Okay. Almost done. Man, this does look a lot nicer, I gotta say. Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings, you're right. I keep forgetting that that's happening. And I think by choice, I keep forgetting. Because I just have this nagging feeling that the Amazon is going to do it wrong. I'm hoping they don't. But it's Amazon. They do so much stuff wrong. Amazon is like that company that you know could be good, and then at every opportunity somebody working there was like hired to ask the question, wait a second, we could be good in this moment, we could, but how about we don't? Like, let's just think about it. We could be good, and then we're just going to be evil instead. We could be good, but let's screw up this simple thing instead. Yeah, that sounds better. Every time I think about Amazon, it's like, you guys, you had the opportunity to get this right. Somebody out there told you how to get this right. Twitter told you how to get this right. And then you're like, nah, that's too easy. We don't want to make it too hard for the competition to demonstrate exactly why they're better than us. We're just stupidly powerful, so it won't matter that they're better than us. Okay. Why am I even going to this level of detail? I don't even know. We are gonna spot healing brush that away though. Knock out a couple of those other little specks of dust. They just raised the price of Prime too. Yeah, they did. One thing about that, my renewal date happens to be like, I think it's like early January sometime. So I actually just I squeezed in right under the wire for their renewal price. So, yay for me. Minor little win. Very, very minor, as it were, but I'll take it. For your April billing cycle, Prime's is going to 15 a month. Oh yeah, and I'm yearly, for whatever that matters. I believe that there's a slight discount for being yearly. And I'm not sure if it's really been worth it, but because I don't use Prime for really anything else. I don't watch anything on Prime Video. Hardly ever. I mean, I have watched stuff on Prime, but it's so infrequent. Like, I did watch the show Brain Dead on there like 3 years ago or something. Which, by the way, if anyone hasn't seen the show Brain Dead, watch it, watch it, watch it. It is so good. Oh, for existing customers, it kicks in on March 25th. Sucks for anyone whose renewal date comes after that. Oops. I kind of screwed that one up. All right. Man, there's just on such an epic level, I do not need to be this meticulous about cleaning up this camera. Oh, let's get that little spot I mean, I'm cleaning up at like tiny little pixel territory for no reason. This is just like my, it's not OCD. It's just like I'm not ready to move on to the next picture yet. But okay, so here's the cleanup that I just did. Funny enough, it's amazing how little cleanup I had to do on this, especially with the mic. I mean, the mic I barely touched, which is funny because no joke, the mic quite literally dropped last weekend. I went out to record some footage. Let's see. In fact, I can show you. There was a bit of a whoops. Let's see. Is this going to be the right? Yep. Okay. So we'll see if this makes it into a blooper reel on the video that I'm making to go with this review. I think you guys can see this, right? Yeah. Okay. Oops. Gotta move it over this way a little. Let's see. Curvy, you use Prime shipping and Twitch Prime a lot. I would use Twitch Prime if they didn't ban my fucking account. God, what the hell's wrong with them? One infraction and they're like, no, we're gonna triple tap you, assholes. Always wearing a hat. The hair hasn't been cut. Like I'm wearing a hat because the hair hasn't been cut. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I still use Prime shipping, but the thing is, I don't necessarily order stuff every month, so I'm not sure if it's worth it for me to be a Prime member yearly if I'm not actually using Prime every month. But the counter to that is, I mean, this is the territory where I'm willing to be lazy. Losing my hair at 37. Oh, curvy. Okay, anyway, so for reference, let's see, I'm at 239. Okay, so for reference, we're gonna back up. This is the rig that I built to sample this, or as a tryout thing. Let's see, you can see the mouse. Yep, you can see the mouse. So there, where my mouse is moving, that is the mic that is currently in this shot, or that is in the photo that I'm working on. Here's my Pixel 2 XL. That's what the mic is plugged into. Then let's nudge this forward just a little bit. This is the Pixel 6 Pro that is mounted by a magnetic mic, or sorry, magnetic mount. It's in the Moment case and held up that way. This whole thing that it's all mounted on, by the way, is the Geowin Smooth 5 gimbal. And then up here, let's see, can we get a slightly better angle on that? Yeah, that's good enough. Up here is the Pixel 4 XL with the other little mini mic that plugs in directly. That's attached and in the gimbal. And then if we move forward a little bit, oh wait, okay, you can barely see it. I mean, it's barely visible, but there's the lav mic that I was using for yesterday's stream, and it is plugged into, if we move forward a little bit, this is my Pixel 3 in my back pocket, and that's what the mic is plugged into. So, yes, I have 4 mics all set up here. I'm using the Pixel 6 Pro as its own, like, kind of test mic to demonstrate what the sound would be like if you were just using your phone as opposed to these mics. Um, and I don't have audio coming through I'm not capturing audio in OBS, but if I hit play on this, it's loud. Like, it is really, really loud. And that's the audio, by the way. The fifth mic is actually my Sony camera, which is set up, and that's what's recording me here. Anyway, so I'm going to be comparing all of those different audios in the video. But here's for the blooper reel. So I set down that rig. I thought it was balanced. And there it goes. Yeah. So I quite literally dropped the mic. Whoops. I am so glad none of the phones broke. The only damage that actually occurred to any phone was a tiny scratch that made it onto the Pixel 4 XL's back. Really, really tiny scratch. But technically 2 scratches, but they're kind of part of each other, so it doesn't matter. And since I have a case on that phone all the time, I don't really care. It's just one of those things. I know it's there. And then 2 phone cases did get some scratches on them, but not bad. They're not bad enough. I played it like nothing happened. Well, at that moment I was just in the, okay, what do I need to grab? Did anything break? And then I had to climb past the barrier thing so I could pick up a couple of pieces that went beyond where you're supposed to walk. And I don't know why they have a barrier up there. It's just the 2 little chain things, but it didn't matter. It's not like it's unsafe, but for some reason they've blocked off that area. Anyway, so, and then the gimbal. This is the part that sucks. I still haven't done a review on that gimbal yet. So I'm going to be taking pictures of that, and when I do, I'm just going to have to, I'm going to have to edit like crazy to clean up the little marks that were left on the gimbal. The gimbal clearly took almost the entire hit, which sucks, but so it goes. I just won't show off that part too much. Okay, anyway, I'm actually pretty happy with this image, which I have now been editing for way too long. So, oh, wait, whoops. I want to be in Photoshop when I do a save. Okay, so, let's find where I want to be saving this. Not that it matters too much, but Lightroom actually will also be saving back a copy of this, but for my own purposes and to keep things a little easier, I save my edited versions in Photoshop format. That way I have them all together in a spot that I can open up separately, and in theory one of these days I will batch process them. I don't do that now because I've been lazy about it. But oh wait, hold on. What the hell is that, and how quickly can we make it go away? That quickly. Clean up those spots on the tile. Also, while we're here, can we make that seam between those tiles disappear? We can. It's gonna make this easy. Okay. might be a little weird with the lens there, but no, that might be a problem because these tiles were not even. Thing is, though, it kind of, if we maybe do, the thing is, I'm not sure that's actually a visible difference. The counterpoint is, I don't know that I care enough about the tile seam. You know what? I don't. So what we're gonna do, we can actually just erase that difference and make it go back to the way it was. It's fine that it's on tile. No one's gonna care about that seam. And in part, I just don't want to try to get it right. So we'll just do the couple of obligatory cleanups on the tile. That does kind of look dirty. That is the one thing that I hate about this tile. Oops. Patch tool. David. You would. Oh, that makes it look worse. It looks too clean. Okay, how about let's try grabbing this whole section and we'll just grab from there. Yeah, that looks a little bit less obvious. Okay, and we're not going for perfect here, just acceptable. Okay, for the little bits here, we'll return to the spot healing brush. Quick cleanup. Yeah. Oh, as I zoom out, that actually looks really bad. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? So maybe we'll just do that. Yeah. Perfection, not worth it. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. There we go. So this time, save as. Let's come back to Final. Photoshop. And this is the... Damn it, what was the name of this one? The... Video Mic Go-To. All right. So we'll save that one. Normally I do go faster on these, but what can I say? I really wanted to... I don't know why. And again, I don't even know that I'm going to keep this one. That's probably the worst part of this, is I don't even know for sure that I'm going to keep this image. Out of curiosity, oops, do I care about getting it level? I do not. I think I actually like that tilted a little bit. Oh, that looks really weird. that actually looks more correct. Is it because the background? I think the background... Yeah, if we just level on the slats of the board. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so saving that. So all I should have to do on this image now is come back in, I'll add the AP watermark, and that'll be it. But I do that when it comes time for review. Okay, so done on those, which means I'm not going to mess with the other set. So let's see what I now want to go do, just to kind of have the comparison point. I'm going to edit these together. This is basically using the same technique. Edit in Photoshop as layers. Oh wait. Oh wait. I did the exact same thing again. Of course I did. What I want to do is come back to... I think it was that image. We're going to copy the coloring I did on that one. Oh wait, no. Hold on. Wrong thing. Okay, so we're going to copy this. Not copying white balance, not copying exposure. I think I want to get everything else though. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see if I can... All right. I like that. So here's what it was, just with basically a white balance correction. And that's what it is with the color corrections I already did. Oop. So, really quick, any tweaks I want to make, because it's going to basically be this image. I'm actually pretty happy with the colors. They look correct for the right coat. Everything else looks good. So we'll also apply it here. I'm good with the wooden backdrop where it's at. Okay, so we'll take both of these, edit in Photoshop. I wonder if there's a hotkey for doing that, because that would make my life so much faster. It's a small detail with those menus, but man, I just do not like menus that are kind of clunky in their positioning. Okay, so we'll crop this down to something a little bit more the way we want it. Okay, so let's kind of do the opposite this time. We're going to put in a mask. Oops, not invert. This time we're going to just make things disappear. So, brush. I love the simplicity of this. Bye. Oops. We will swap back, paint that in, and then I know how I'll fix the shadow in a second, but I'll get there in a second. I should have actually done a clean plate where I held this in place just so I could have the shadow for free. But oops. Okay. Let's shrink this down even further. Okay. We'll erase to this point, and then we'll do one more shrink, and then I think that'll be good. There are techniques that could make this even easier, or more precise. Let's also bring up the hardness. That's what she said. And oh yeah, look at that, just almost perfect. And in theory, if I want to make this really perfect, I'd even add in, and I might do that, some of the jaggies from the microphone. Let's use the patch tool and see if we can't maybe get that to work for us. Oh, what'd you do? Alright, that is not working the way it should be. Let's try a smaller block. Why is it doing that? Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, I know why. New layer. Now we'll use the patch tool. We were doing it from the yeah, that looks perfect. I was doing the patch tool on the mask layer, which obviously would be completely wrong. All right, and it's I don't think that one turned out right. Okay, let's try this one again, and we'll grab from over here. It's looking worse. We'll just, how's that? Yeah, that's looking a little janky, but I think what I can now do, we're gonna kind of recorrect this again using the clone stamp. All right. Is it perfect? No. But I'm really not that bothered by it. Could I fix that a little bit more? Yeah, clone stamp is pretty badass. It used to be my go-to for a very, very long time, right up until the spot healing brush came out. Once the spot healing brush was there, I swear there are whole images that I did nothing but spot healing brush, just across the board. That looks worse. There's this little bit of white halo that is bugging me. So let's try. Okay, that's a little better. What I think I'm going to do also is clone stamp in from up there. Okay, I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it, which is gonna be the standard we go by. And for the shadow, I'm totally just going to cheat in the dumbest conceivable way. We're going to clone stamp from there, and just using a super low opacity, I'm going to blend this together. So maybe we'll bump up the opacity so this doesn't take a week to accomplish. The beauty of this is now it just looks like the light is a little bit weird. Wait, why is there... No, we don't care about that anyway. I'm gonna... Problem solved. Okay. So, yeah, now it just looks like the light kind of made the shadow vanish a little bit. But I am going to bring a little bit more... Oh, believe me, I'm going to get to the little hairs. And actually, they're not... I don't think those are even hairs. I think those are, like, fake fibers that, like, lint from off of maybe clothes or something. But, yeah. So, believe me, I'll be getting rid of those in a moment. So I think I'm actually going to... Yeah, just fade the shadow a little bit more in these areas. That way it is just super non-obvious that I just made a shadow disappear from over here. Now it just looks like the microphone is standing on its own. Could I have done this better? Yes. The best way I could have taken this shot is just put something all the way behind the microphone, like standing back here, an arm that comes up, goes forward, and then has something that like stretches over and could have held up the microphone from behind. I didn't have something handy that could do that, so this is gonna work instead. But man, I really need to set up a rig so I can string things up. That would be the perfect option. But hey, now we have a perfectly standing microphone and no sign of any trouble. Okay, so now to the spot healing brush for making the world a better, cleaner looking place. Starting with a mic, because that's what we do around here. And we're already in the cleanup layer, so I'm just going to stay in this layer. No need to create multiples for something like this. If I were doing like professional photo editing for like product photography to go in and catalog or something like that, I would be super comfortable making this like a gig large photo. And by that I mean I would have like just a stack of layers, probably groups of layers, where I'm correcting and fixing every little detail in very independent layers. I'm not going to do that here. This is still a review for a website. So and I do actually keep all of my stuff. So all of the edits that I make, all the originals, I keep all that stuff. So since I'm storing it somewhere, I don't want to have to keep massive, like 2 gigabyte large Photoshop files for every single thing that I edit. So I still try to keep the number of layers relatively low. Let's get rid of a little bit of the plasticky ugliness that's up here. Man, this spot healing brush is just freaking magic. Yeah, that almost worked. Try one more time. Yeah, I think I'll just leave that then. Things that look, technically that's just bokeh that went a little wild, but may as well clean it up. Okay, now on to the goofy threads. Okay, for the sake of precision, we're going to use a trackpad for this one because my drawing abilities to follow line are shockingly not that great. And I could do this in multiple cleans, and I kind of am, but somehow I always feel like doing one long line is the way to go. I honestly know it's not, but it is bad habit. I still try to do a big long line when I do these cleanups. I'm not going to do that here. I want to do this as a shorter set because each individual one will sample from a different spot. And look at that. We have basically disappearing threads in a highly overcomplicated visual, well, like very complex in terms of what's here. Lots of detail, but it cleaned it up perfect. No one is going to look this close, but we're still going to clean up a couple of these. It's like cleaning up flyaways. People have hair, it flies away, it's a thing. We're just going to make all of them disappear though. Doesn't matter how windy of a day it is, someone can have perfect hair just through the magic of Photoshop. Okay, so yeah, see, remember when I said it normally doesn't take me that long for a photo? This is more like what it should be. This was what? A few minutes? Still probably longer than I should spend. Like, I know a lot of the people at AP, when they take their photos, they do not spend any of this time at all. I mean, they just simply do not do any of these steps. So I like to think I'm trying a little harder to make it. I mean, I'm definitely trying harder than most people will. Most people would not be cleaning up these dumb little, like, pixel-sized bits of dust. But yeah, so this is the change. It's funny because this is probably the first time that I've done one where in forever, like not just this review, but the first time in forever that I've done a cleanup layer and zoomed out, I can't even tell the differences that I tweaked. But that's fine. The only thing I can really pick out is that tiny little hair right here. When I hide that, that's the only thing I'm really seeing. Obviously the shadow too, but that's a different story. Okay, so we're gonna save that one. And because Photoshop is kind of dumb about file locations, we're just gonna do that. And this is a Photoshop file. Save faster. There you go. Okay, so with that, it actually is about 8 o'clock for me, obviously. So I'm going to finish the rest of these offline, I guess. This won't be the only photos that I'm doing, but and again, I'm not even sure how many of these I'm going to use, which is the part that sucks about this, but we'll see. I'm going to finish the rest of these offline, and tomorrow I'm probably going to do a bunch of stuff for this review, plus write this review. That's kind of the part that's going to suck. I need to hurry up and write a lot of this review. But I'm going to go out, film some more with the mics, also record some inside with the mics, because I want to get them recording in a much nicer environment that's kind of like this office, very possibly in this office. So I'll be doing a bunch of that stuff tomorrow. In fact, hopefully that is all I do tomorrow, is work on this review, get it basically done. The only part I won't finish tomorrow is the video, which is fine, as long as I get the written and the photos done. And then with the video, I will finish that later. Because, get a load of this, little fun, not important, but a detail that may or may not be interesting. No joke, for the video, or sorry, for the review, an editor is going to look over and approve the written review. They do not look over the photos basically at all, but maybe kind of sometimes they do. The video I'm going to be posting technically separate and just embedding it with the review. No one is going to be looking over the video. So, which is funny because you'd think the video is the part that would matter the most, but since it is not part of our YouTube team, there's really no one or nothing that is going to be in effect. So as long as my written review covers all the salient parts, that's what will be checked. It's funny how that stuff works. So yeah, I'll be working on the written part because that's what needs approval, and the video part will just come later. Anyway, not that that was necessary knowledge, but fun little detail for why I'm going to be recording in the order that I'm, or not recording, but working on it in the order that I'm working on it. But yeah, so hopefully tomorrow is sunny, which reminds me, is tomorrow sunny? Oops. Let's see, tomorrow 57 with clouds, 10% chance of rain. Not great, we'll see. I can make that work though. Anyway, with that, let's see, thanks to David and even though he's not here, Diablo, for being subscribers on Patreon. For anyone else, if you'd like to subscribe, there's a link to Patreon down below, or for tips, Streamlabs link, which I need to change to PayPal one of these days, but the Streamlabs link does work. So thanks to everyone for coming by, hanging out, listening as I ramble and sort of casually edited photos, not very efficiently as it were, but hey, you know, finishing work is what it is. So I will be back for some rambly goodness on Wednesday. Hopefully Corbin will be joining us, assuming he's not a total slacker, as he is sometimes wont to be. And yeah, that about wraps it up. I think, let's see. And yeah, it seems like OBS is performing well enough on this laptop, so I believe I am now officially going to be moving to this laptop, which means I need to move a whole bunch of graphics and other crap over, which might be a good opportunity for me to also work on new graphics, but that needs to come after this review, so we'll see, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with that, yeah, no, I'll fix that later. Anyway, with that, thanks to everyone for coming by, and good night, everybody.